Alright, so next video about the Cadillac headlight removal and restoration. Now, I did a video about removing the bumper cover, and I removed it completely because mine was cracked. It was bumped on the driver's side and all beat up, so I'm replacing it. So I took it all the way off. You don't actually need to take it all the way off to get to the headlights, and actually you could probably access the fog light too if you're just going to get them off to replace bulbs or restore them. And from here it's actually pretty easy. We just got 3 bolts and 2 bolts and a nut, and then the connectors and the headlight assemblies will come off. So the nuts and screws are 10 millimeter, but you got access, I suggest soak them down first. Come back in 10 or 15 minutes and get them off there. Alright, so the nuts and bolts are out of the way. Should just, well, it doesn't really want to slide out too far, so I might need to get another better camera angle here. Okay. So got a big connector right there. And then a couple smaller ones. Okay, that one wasn't connected hardly at all. All my lights worked. I'm just going to restore them, but I also do want to replace the HIDs, and it looks like another hack job with electrical tape. That's not cool. Okay, so I'm going to get started on restoring the headlights and the driver turn signal assemblies. The lenses are in really bad shape, and like I said, this is a huge eye catcher for the car, and these look like crap. So I'm actually going to follow the Crisp Fix regimen, where we sand them down and then we actually spray them down with clear coat paint, and I'll show you all that stuff as we go. First step for the turn signal and driving light assemblies is these brackets, which I believe were on the top, need to come off. There's just a couple 7 millimeter bolts holding them on, and then we'll have full access to the clear plastic here, and I can start sanding on them. There's actually a bolt right there. I'm not sure that's going to be in the way. I might just sand right over the top of that. So get down to the device and check it out. So yeah, the 7 millimeter bolts, just a couple of them here. These would probably be what you would remove if you were just trying to get these off of the bumper skin, but I'm replacing my bumper cover, so this had to come off anyway, even just to transfer it over to the new skin. And it looks like they just, slide back and they come right off. Simple. Step 1, obviously we're going to clean it. I use purple cleaner, diluted about half and half with water. It's a very heavy, harsh degreaser. Spray something on and let that soak for a little bit, and then just going to wipe it off with paper towel. Okay, one thing about these assemblies is this edge right here is not flat, it just curves off. However, you can tell where we can see the lens, and we don't need to worry about making all of it perfect. So this lip out here, probably not even going to sand it or really worry about it. It's just these parts that are roughened up that are actually visible, and that's what we're mostly worried about. So, go get the sander. Alright, so first up I'm going to sand it with 400 grit. Got a bucket of warm water here. And then we'll move up to maybe 800 after this. Alright, so I walked away and then this dried up some, which is fine. But you can see it's cloudy, and that's kind of what we want, because when you wet it, it looks clear, and that's what the clear coat's going to do for it. So in between grits, clean it off again, try to get the big chunks of plastic out of there. Kind of seeing spots on the inside of the lens. I believe this is the bottom, so there's going to be corrosion on the silver reflective surface where water got in and corroded it. There's definitely some water on the inside here. I don't see, there's no cracks, it's just probably just the actual seal. And I don't know if that's I've got clips on the outside here, and it really makes me wonder if I could unclip that and get to the inside. And I'll try that later, but if I can, I'll clean it. Right now I'm just worried about getting the outside up to snuff. So we'll switch to some 800 grit. And same deal. I just got a wet paper towel. There you go, 800. I've been wrapping up inside of the sandpaper. Okay, so that's enough for 800. Give it a good clean again. And move up to 1000. There you go. Still the same stuff, just older. 3M Imperial or whatever it's called. Imperial Wet Dry. Okay, that's enough for 1000. Clean it off again. And step up to 2000. Not nearly as much pressure with the 2000, and really not as much as the 4.8 on the 1000. And I really didn't put as much time into it on the 8 and the 1000 as I did the 400, because these are really in bad shape. I probably could have started with something even lower number, higher grit. Okay. Because of this bolt hole, whatever it is, adjuster or something like that, I'm going to take it over and blow it out with compressed air. And then I'm going to come back and clean it with some rubbing alcohol. Okay, holes blowed out. I'm going to use 91% rubbing alcohol, and I just buy those in bulk at Walmart and put them in a spray container. cheap, so I'll use the hell out of it. And paper towel better be clean when you get done doing that too. Otherwise, keep going. So that's good enough for now. Let that dry. Okay, so I'm finally going to put the clear on. This is what I'm using, Rust-Oleum clear. Got to look for the non-yellowing UV resistant stuff. It's like $4 a can at Walmart. And the instructions say between 50 degrees Fahrenheit and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and humidity under 85%. So we are good to go there. Good for coat one. This stuff may not clear out actually. So let's see, I think we wait for, it says apply a second coat within an hour. It says dries to touch in 20 minutes. So I guess we'll come back in 20 minutes. That looks really, really bad actually. Like maybe it's too wet still. I think I see fog on the inside, but it just looks like really, really bad orange peel up here. Have to see how that turns out. Well, it's over 20 minutes later. It looks better, but it's definitely still very orange peeled. So might actually have to end up wet sanding it again after this. Maybe I just applied too much first coat, I don't know. So that's the last coat. I'm gonna let that sit for a full day. See how it looks. Probably have to wet sand it again. I'm gonna do something a bit different on the headlight. I'm actually gonna do it with an electric sander. I went and got some 220. That's the highest number I could find for this 5-inch dual action electric sander. But you can tell it's got clear coat on it and it's coming off, so it's probably going to take a lot to get it off. I had the same problem with the veneer I did a while back. So I'm going to hit this with a 220 and then we'll switch back to hand wet sanding. Guess I can give it a clean and see where we're at with it. A lot of the yellowing is gone. The problem is we got a bit of a uneven spot around the outside. Makes it hard to sand with a big disc like that. Feels pretty good. Feels a lot better where the clear coat was already, or whatever coating was on here was already gone. Still a little rough on the outsides. Well, I ain't positive that was a great idea or work yet, but I'm willing to move forward, so give it a good clean again. And then we'll move on to 400. Some fresh paper there. Quick cleaning again. Move on to 800. Fold back and get some fresh paper. Another cleaning. Switch up to 1,000. Clean it again. And switch up to 2,000. One last time with degreaser. And we'll hit it with the rubbing alcohol. I'll let that dry. Actually, look a little bit dirty, didn't it? Might have hit the might have hit the weather stripping. I'll let that dry and come back and hit it with wax and grease remover, since I had such trouble with the driving light park or turn signal assembly. Come back in a little while. Let that dry and then we'll paint it.